Welcome to the Vernon Hills Update. The update offers information about a variety of village services. You'll meet a few of your neighbors, and you'll find out about upcoming events. On today's show, we'll learn about an important opportunity to make your voice heard as Village Manager John Kalmar unveils the village's first community-wide survey. We'll meet our Vernon Hills Queens, Little Miss Victoria Berta, Junior Miss Valerie Berta, and Miss Vernon Hills Emily Chirello, and learn about their activities over this past year. We'll talk with Cassie Black, one of the volunteer organizers of the Vernon Hills Pageant, who will explain a bit about the pageant process and how to get involved. We'll stop by the Vernon Hills Park District Sullivan Center to speak with Executive Director Jeff Fougeroux, who will outline major changes that are planned for the facility. And we'll talk with Park District staffers about a variety of programs available for our residents, including summer camps, family aquatic center activities, and some exciting special events. Thank you for tuning into the Vernon Hills Update.
We are at Village Hall in the boardroom. We're with John Kalmar, who's our village manager, and we're here to talk about surveys and your opinion and a chance for us as residents to get information back to the village. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us about this survey. We've heard a little bit about it if we've been watching the board meetings. We know this has been in the works for a bit, but let's back up and talk about the bigger picture about what the village is doing and what you're trying to get feedback for, the kind of the strategic look at things.
Yeah, the survey itself is something that we've never done before here in the community. I mean, some of the departments have their own little customer surveys that they put out to people after something happens or they do something or there's been an interaction. For instance, the police department in our community and a lot of communities typically do a survey to people maybe who they arrest. I don't know. How did we do, so to speak? But a lot of them do those types of surveys, but that's geared specifically towards the police department and their delivery of service. The intention of this new survey or of this first-time survey is to look across the community as a whole and talk with them and measure, issues of satisfaction with service delivery and parks and schools and some general feelings about how they feel about living in the community. One of the key components of this is community livability. Are they satisfied with bike paths and school and street maintenance and snow plowing and police and fire service and those types of things in a general sense. And then the other part of this too is, again, how do they feel in terms of living here in Vernon Hills? Do they like it? Do they interact with their neighbors? Do they participate in the community? Those types of things. So the basis of the survey is a number of questions that have been developed by a company called the National Citizen Survey. National Citizen Survey has used these questions across the country and refined them over the years to what the survey is today. So what we'll see is that the results from our community will not only be measured internally to how our residents feel, but they'll also be benchmarked against surveys that have been done throughout the country. So we will get I think a real good sense in terms of how people feel here, but also is their feeling greater than or less than the sense across the nation in terms of the questions that the people have answered.
Well, and since you've talked about it, it's kind of some of those questions are quite broad brush, and they kind of involve other partners that you work with. It isn't just Village Hall services, so there is more general. The livability thing, that's something that all of the community partners, the Park District and Countryside Fire and all these people can then buy into that information, not buy in, but look at the information after and work as partners.
Yeah, and again, the questions will be general in nature. They're not going to say, how do you feel about Countryside Fire Protection District? Or how do you feel about the park? It's going to be a general nature. Do we have enough open space here in town? How are the parks? How does ambulance and fire service and their responses, asking those types of questions and asking people to rate those as in terms of if they've had an interaction, et cetera, et cetera. But it won't ask specific questions about those other districts itself. Vernon Hills is unique from the standpoint of that we're not a full service community. And what I mean by that is we don't provide the village does not provide sewer and potable water and fire and ambulance service and the like a lot of communities do. So when we ask you to measure those, we are asking you just to tell us how you feel about the services that we get from those other agencies. And what we will do then is, if there's something that jumps out or something that, there's a big red flag in a certain area that we can send on to those districts, we absolutely will. But the focus is, how do you feel about living in the community? And, and again, with the optional questions that we'll ask at the end, are you aware of certain things that we are doing, or should we be doing these other things?
Some of those things you talked about, like services for seniors, are you aware how many services the villages offer, and things like those are some of the things that you're going to be looking at. And that gets more specific then and we also have to remind people that this is an anonymous survey.
Absolutely.
Yet at the same time, you're going to ask demographic questions at the beginning because you need that for benchmarking purposes.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we have the ability at the end of the survey, and people will see this, that there will be a series of 5 or 6 questions that will be a little bit different than what they'd previously answered. And again, we're going to ask about seniors and, ask about our programs. Are you aware of these types of things? Do you know that we do these certain things, et cetera, et cetera? Should we be looking at more affordable senior housing, for instance? Should we be looking at establishing an electronic recycling program here in town? As everybody knows, everybody has the big TVs in their house, and their question is, what do we do to get rid of them? Should we be looking at doing something like that? The other important part of this survey is going to be the questions on, how do residents get information about the village? Do they go to our website? Do they go to our Facebook page? Do they not care, or don't take the time to get those? And then the other part of this is, how best should we try to communicate with you as a resident? Because that then again allows us to tailor our programming, such as this program, for instance, or our Facebook or Instagram or any website information. How do we do that? And how do we better inform the residents of what we're doing and what's going on in the community as a whole? So the whole idea here is to try to understand through this survey how best we can communicate both back and forth with the residents going forth in the future.
And then this information is going to be used, because you've never done it before, for the strategic planning purpose. So it's going to be used kind of for a bigger process. Tell me about that strategic planning process.
Yeah, typically in the past we've done strategic plans, or lists as we know them, that identify certain things that the board and the staff and everything working together would like to see done over a period of time. The last time we did this was 2011. The plan is dated 2012. This will be the first time that we've used a broad survey like this that then take and craft a future strategic plan for the community. And that's an extremely important part of this, because you measure what residents are saying, you measure or you see what areas or concerns that there may be, and then you take that and you can either set it on the shelf and not do anything with it, or you can take it and develop this plan in terms of how to address certain things. So for instance, if we're not communicating in a way that residents are seeing a substantial benefit for, what can we do from a communications plan that would allow us then to get push more information out to the residents? The other part is once the strategic plan is completed, it will allow us to then develop some performance measures. Meaning we'll be able to use data from the survey, the strategic plan itself, and then attach certain performance measures that then we can then go back and say, we're providing this type of service for this amount of cost. That may not be the best way to do it. Or maybe we don't need to do this. Or we're missing some areas where residents are saying, we really do need this service, and this allows us then to formulate some idea or plan on how we might address that.
So actionable plans and data-driven at the end, so that it isn't just a nice list of we wish, but it's like you can watch your progress as you go.
Yeah, that's the hope. That is the hope. And this will take probably, to develop the strategic plan and develop those lists, we're probably talking about a year, 18 months. So we could be looking at working through this, and I'll back up and say I think the survey will be completed sometime in late summer. We'll get the results. We'll then begin to work with the board in terms of putting together a strategic planning process itself and then the performance measures coming out of that, probably looking about sometime in 2018 to have something in place, at least at the department level, to work from.
And all those things are going to be things that residents can look for as we go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and again, that's predicated on us putting out the survey at the end of March. We will allow several weeks for folks to answer those questions. And that's an important thing, and maybe I'll clarify that for you. There are two types of surveys. You can take a scientific survey where you take a certain number of people, and a company will call a certain number of people and take it's a sample of a community. Or you can do what they call a non-scientific, where you allow everybody to participate. We're going to take the non-scientific approach. We want everybody to participate. We want to give everybody the chance to go online, answer the questions, and feel that they've participated in this. And it'll be really two parts of that survey. First, it'll be just the general questions, and then the optional questions at the end. And then there will be a demographic section at the end of the survey that will tell us a little bit about the people who are answering it. And it's anonymous, as you indicated. It will provide a cross-section or allow us to develop a cross-section of who's answered the questions and the like, and help us to understand who our residents are. And when people look at it, what they'll see is it's very similar to the U.S. Census and the data that's coming out of the U.S. Census. What it does know, however, is it provides us a more real-time list of information that we can apply then as we're going forth in our process.
So when we look at this survey, you've mentioned it's online. 15-minute survey kind of thing. Are you anticipating when it's all done?
Yeah, it'll take 10 to 15 minutes or 20 minutes if you're a slow reader, I think, and that's what we're thinking at this point.
Okay. And it's going to be online, we're hoping, by the end of March, and it'll be up for a while. How are people going to know how to get to that survey?
Yeah, we're going to take a multi-tiered approach to notify folks. We're going to send out a mailer to every individual household, so everybody will get a little card that says, hey, please participate. We really want you. Here's how you do it. We'll be doing the online stuff, website, Facebook. We'll also be doing our weekly blast emails that we send out to folks. And again, if you're not on the blast email site, sign up. We send it out every week, and we send out notifications on various things. So that'll go out. And we may very well do a community-wide notification using our emergency notification system that basically says, hey, love for you to participate, which means everybody will get a robocall, so to speak. We'll do the robocall after the primaries on the 15th so that everybody may answer the phone. So, but we'll be pushing this out as much as possible. We'll be looking to do some information in the press. We'll work with the Daily Herald and the local press here to put some information out with them too. So.
Okay. So people watch for, as we get toward the end of, as you're watching this in March, toward the end of the month, start looking for that survey. Please take time to do it, because it's your chance to speak, and that's the beginning part of this whole strategic process, to get that feedback. So really important and really easy to do for everybody. And you'll have them here also. If somebody doesn't have internet access, they can come over here.
Right, absolutely. I mean, there's some folks who don't want to do it online, and I get it. But we still want you to participate. So if you want a paper copy, you want to come by Village Hall, we'll set up a spot for folks to do that. They'll be able to go through the paper, they'll write their answers, they'll leave it here, again, anonymously, and we will make sure that data that they've produced has been entered into the results. So, we're going to try to make this as easy as possible for people, because we really do want people to participate. A lot of communities have done it. Recently, Libertyville has done it, Schaumburg's done it, a number of the North Shore communities have done it, and it's actually helped them understand what's going on in their community, and it helps them, again, do their strategic planning or lists, however they do it, and then ultimately do things with their budgets to try to address some of those things. We're hoping to do the same.
So we want everybody out there doing this. Very important.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if you agree or disagree. You want the data is what you want.
Yeah, exactly. And if you disagree, tell us. And if you have strong opinions about things in the community and services and livability and those types of things, tell us. We don't know if you don't respond to the survey. And that's a very important thing for us. Understanding what people are looking for, what their hopes are, how they feel about living in the community, et cetera, et cetera. We get that information anecdotally over the years. I mean,
Yeah, and people are really good. There's some people that are very good about calling you or emailing you or stopping you on the street, but that's not every voice. So that's what you're trying to get in this survey.
and that's exactly right. I mean, we'll post stuff on Facebook and information, and we read the comments that people leave and everything like that. And it's really a nice, broad spectrum of opinions. The majority of them are very positive, which is great. But we're going to try to drill down a little bit more in terms of how people feel about specific things in the community and try to use those to measure our services and our what we provide in the community going forward. So again, I hope everybody takes the time, and I know everybody's busy and everything like that, but you can, if you're not sleeping in the middle of the night, get up and do this survey, or, you're sitting at the breakfast table and you got your tablet there like I do every morning, pull it out, take the 15 minutes while you're eating your Cheerios and fill out the survey.
For the good of the order. It's for the good of everyone.
Absolutely. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to talk about this. If you have questions, you can always call over to Village Hall, come over for help on doing the survey if you need to understand how to get access to it. But just watch for information, because as we head into the end of this month of March, that's when we can start doing the survey. So thanks for taking the time, Mr. Kalmar, and best wishes. We hope you get lots and lots of information. So thank you.
Thanks, Lynn.
Well, we'd like to introduce or reintroduce to you the Vernon Hills Queens for 2015. We have all of them here today after a very busy day at school, so thanks for taking the time. We're with Victoria Berta, Valerie Berta, and Emily Chiarella. So thanks for joining us, girls. And now, as we get into our discussion, we'll know that you guys know how to do this because you've seen it done or been doing this before. So this is our annual Queen Talk. So let's start by getting to know everybody. Victoria, let's start with you. Is that okay? Can you
Sure.
tell everybody, let's see, you're Little Miss, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what school do you go to? How
I go
old
to
are you?
Townline Elementary,
Okay, and who's your teacher?
Mr. Smart,
Okay, so what grade are you in?
4th.
You're in 4th grade, okay. And so one of the things that happens in 4th grade is you get to start band, right? Band or orchestra. So did you start this year?
Yes, I actually do play the flute.
You play the flute, nice. Well, we'll come back and learn more about you in a minute, but I also think there's like a piece of your history in that I think you've got a sister that knows about the pageant too, because she's sitting right next to you, right? So now Valerie, it's your turn, Valerie Berta. So you're junior miss.
Yeah.
Now, what school do you go to?
I go to Hawthorne Middle School North.
Okay, which grade are you there?
I'm in 7th.
You're 7th, okay. I know you do like homerooms and things, so who's your homeroom teacher there?
I'm in Miss Newman's homeroom.
Okay. Now, and are you also in band then too?
Yeah, I
Is that
play
a
the
Berta
alto
thing?
saxophone.
Okay. That's a Berta thing, so you guys make music at home, nice. Now we're going to talk about a Chiarella thing, so we're with Emily. So what you're the miss, but now we've seen you before in other crowns, correct?
You have.
Yes.
I was Junior Miss Vernon Hills 2013 before I was Miss.
Okay, excellent. So you came back, and here we are again. And tell us about you now. You're in school now, right?
Yes, I am a senior at Vernon Hills High School right now.
And it's a very busy time to be a senior. Now, I understand one of the things you're doing too is you're involved with the student-directed plays. Can you tell us what you're directing right now?
Yes, right now I'm the director for a one-act play called The Subtext of Texting. It is my first time being involved with one acts, and I am so excited for it. The shows are coming up really soon, and I'm just so excited to see them actually performed on stage.
Well, it's interesting to hear because this is just like a little bit about each of you, because I know you have a lot of other things you're involved with, but just the fact that you can be the queens and you can do all these things, and you stayed pretty busy all year. Let's go back through that history. Now, you said you had done this and you were the junior.
Yes.
And I believe there's been some others in your family who've done this. Can you talk about the history of your family in the pageant?
Oh, wow, there's a lot of it. So I was participating in the Vernon Hills pageant since I was 9 when I competed in Little Miss. And then I went on to Junior Miss, and one year there were 3 Chiarellos, and each of us were in a different category. I believe it was 2010. 2011 that my little sister won Little Miss Vernon Hills, And then the following year, my older sister won Miss Vernon Hills. And then the year after, I came along and won Junior Miss Vernon Hills.
So it's something obviously you like to do in your family. I mean, it's just that the experience must be pretty fun, or you wouldn't be coming back for it. So, right, yeah. And are there any other girls at home ready to go for this? Like anybody after you? So.
Well, my little sister, she was Little Miss, and then later went on to become Little Miss Lake County, and now she's in the age category for Junior Miss. So I'm expecting to see her there next summer.
So we'll keep the name going, and let's talk to Valerie and Victoria too. So you guys are sisters.
Yes.
And I remember when you had sat in that chair, as you said. What year? Do you remember what year? Was that a couple years
2012.
ago? Okay. And you came and watched, and you
Yes.
said, "I think I'm going to do it. And I'll see you." And so that's exactly what you did then. So it must be fun for you guys too. Is it something
Yeah.
that you watched your big sister, and that's you saw all the fun? Is that why you wanted to
Yeah,
do it?
well, originally it was me, my older sister, and I in 2010, and then she won in 2010, and then so it was like kind of like a tradition every summer to do the pageant.
Is there competition amongst you?
No, because we're all different ages.
Okay.
My older sister is 8 years older than me, and then my little sister's 2 years younger than me.
Okay, so it's been a tradition in your family too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and as I've talked to you guys before about this, because we do know each other from way back, but
Yeah.
that you guys will talk about, it isn't, it's a great honor to wear the crown. But the experience itself of going through like pageant week and all the things you get to do and being with these friends you make, it seems like it's a fun experience regardless of the outcome. Did you think it was fun to go through this? Are you looking forward to it this year?
Yes, a lot, because different people that I didn't know from like other
Schools? Yeah.
would come and participate in it, and I'll make lots of friends during it.
Well, that's true, because you get to know other schools, even like other communities, or if you haven't known them before, so you've made friends there. And it sounds like what I've heard, that it is a fun week. It's a very supportive week. It's not a scary thing. That everybody
Yeah.
teaches you what to do. Correct? You didn't have to have a big sister do this to figure it out. You'd be able to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me kind of a little bit what happens as you're going? Like, I know there's meetings and things. Do people tell you like how to approach an interview and all those kinds of things?
Yeah, so we have rehearsals. We have 2 rehearsals, first and second rehearsal. During first rehearsal, they like teach us how to pivot, and they show us how we walk and how to answer questions, and it helped me a lot.
So that's nice too. So it's not like,
Yeah.
and it's always felt to me like it wasn't really competition. I know there can only be so many crowns, but it felt like it was everybody supporting each other. You've had quite a history in that. Is that how you feel that it is too? Or are you just an outgoing, really competitive person and that it wouldn't matter to you?
Well, I am a competitive person. I've been involved with sports all my life, but this is truly just a fun experience for me. I was involved with this pageant for 4 years before I had my first title, and the reason why I kept coming back to it was because of the experiences that I had and the friendships that I made during it.
That's really neat to hear. And I know in the past I've heard people say it makes me more confident because I've had to go through that. Can you give me some examples of how, does it make school easier? Does it make some of those things easier?
Well, actually, I am currently in a speech class for my lit class senior year, and being involved in the pageants has made it so much easier to go up in front of my class and give a speech every single week because I'm so used to doing it in front of large crowds.
So if you're used to doing it there, it's just going to translate on and on and on. So,
Yeah.
and it's the same with you guys. Have you found that it makes you just easier with people, or what do you think?
Yeah, because now like it's not so nervous when I like meet new people. I can just get to know them really easily and just talk to them.
And you've been in a lot of different situations,
Yeah.
right, Valerie?
And like me, I've grown like up and I've been like a shy person like all my life, and I feel like the pageant like overcame my fear of like becoming like super shy. And then being in I'm in advanced language arts, and so I get to do like speeches in front of like big crowds, and so it's like helps like calm my nerves down and like make it easier to present in front of my classmates and my teachers.
Well, I will tell you, these kind of skills, they're going to help you the rest of your life. So the skills and the fun and the friendship, I mean, it sounds like a wonderful thing to just go through it. Whether, you know, and let's talk about what you did once you got crowned. I know you guys hit the ground running because right away you were in the 4th of July parade. You and a lot of the other girls were in the 4th of July parade. But can we talk about some of the things you do? Because I know a lot of times you like to do special projects. To like help others, they call it service or charity projects. Can you speak to any of that?
Well, one of the first events that we actually did was over the summer, and it's the higher annual fishing derby for the veterans. And so we spend the spend the day, the morning really, greeting all the veterans coming in, and we help them. Well, we sit and we keep them company while they're fishing, and we pass out drinks and snacks and food and collect their fish and have them weighed and see who at the end is the big winner.
And that's been a huge event. I know that was the late Jim Heyer, who is beloved by everybody from Vernon Hills. And you said you know his granddaughter, and that then is really close to you. So it's for the Heyer family and for you guys for doing that. That is a huge event that sometimes I think goes a little unnoticed because it's for the veterans, and they bring them in from the veterans facility. But it's a wonderful event, and you guys are the face of Vernon Hills when you're there, so thank you for that. So, do you have any other events? Like, did you sometimes I know you've collected things, or you've done all sorts of projects. Have you got any other projects that come to mind that you did this year?
Over the summer, once again, we did, Emily and I did Relay for Life, and it was like a really fun event. We got to meet misses and juniors from other towns, and we got to walk with survivors, and with their caretakers, you got to give them sashes and awards, and it was really special.
That's a very, very special event. Do you have anything that you remember that really stood out as being fun or fancy or special?
I don't think this was in the beginning, but there was a lot of pageants that we could have saw that different people won for different towns.
Well, and as I speak of that, you guys are going to be getting ready to go to the Lake County pageant. So you're going to actually be in another pageant as you guys representing Vernon Hills. So is that kind of exciting coming up for that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so do you have to like brush up on your like queen stuff? Do you have like interviews and the whole thing there too?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck to you for that, you guys. So
Thank you.
that'll be fun though. Well, now what we always like to do is there's so many things that you guys have done, and we appreciate how you have been our goodwill ambassadors, meaning that you go out and you are always, kind and helpful to everybody on behalf of Vernon Hills, especially when some of us in Vernon Hills don't have the time to be so kind and helpful. You guys are doing that for us, so thank you. And we understand how fun this is. So before we close, can we give like a commercial? If you had a friend or even somebody you didn't know or somebody who was maybe shy, like you said, Valerie, you feel sort of shy sometimes. Can you give a commercial of how this is a fun thing to do and why you might want to do it? Do you want to start?
Sure. Honestly, the pageant just allows you to go out and have fun and get to know your community. You don't have to go in to win. It's almost just for the experience. You get to have an interview, a speech, a pop question, and it allows you to prepare yourself for your future and to make so many new friends.
That sounds fun. So what about you? What kind of commercial do you have, Valerie?
You make a lot of new friends, and it like helps a lot because my friend when I was Little Miss, I'm still in touch with her, and it's been over 3 years, and you make a lot of new friends, and I feel like that's a lifelong skill, like making friends and being like social with, and I think that's like a very unique thing that like you learn from the pageant. A lot of people think that pageants is all about how you look and being the best of the best, but here nobody will judge you if you don't look the prettiest, if you don't have the best dress. Everybody makes friends with each other, and that's what I really like.
That's nice to know, and I know that too, that I've heard Miss Cassie, who organizes everything, say, if you need a dress, we've got people that can find you a dress. So I don't have a dress, I don't know about the shoes, I'm not a girly girl, I've never dressed up. Somebody will help you get hooked up, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. What about you? What about the last, go for it? What do you think?
Well, it's very fun because you get to meet new people and get on stage and wear pretty dresses. And it's just fun to go around the town and meet new things, new people that you haven't really seen, and new things that you haven't really done. And it's very fun, and it helps like if you're a really shy person, as Val was saying that she was really a shy person, it does help you a lot for like, it overcomes your like fears of like meeting new people and things like that.
Well, it seems like it's been a wonderful year, I would have to say, if I like summed it up for you all. A great year. Thank you for all you've done.
Thank you.
Continue to do, and good luck at the pageant coming up for the Lake County pageant. And also, and good luck as you go into your final, that final pageant when you're helping all the girls get ready. I know that can be kind of emotional for you guys and for your moms and for everybody else. So just enjoy all you've done, all you've got ahead of you. Thank you very much for taking the time. And remember, if you want to know something more about the pageant, ask these girls, or ask one of their sisters who's done it, or ask their moms, or just give a call. But find out more. If you think this might be something you'd like to do, find out a little bit more and go for it. So thanks very much, girls. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Well, now let's talk about kind of more the nuts and bolts of the pageant, and we're with somebody who knows exactly what's going on. We're with Cassie Horvath, who is one of the volunteer coordinators for quite a while now. What do we think you've been doing this job for?
Oh, we're thinking about 10 years.
Well, there you go. You've got it down to a science, and I know this is important to you, and I know it's important to the rest of your volunteers. And as I say, volunteer. Everybody's doing this just out of their own time and out of their own interest. And who's your core group right now?
Well, right now, with our wonderful core group of directors, Hannah Black, my daughter Hannah Black, and our good friend Michelle Newman, who, so that between the three of us, we try and get everything, plus all the wonderful queens that come back to help out, and their moms, and so on and so on.
I mean, right down to like the MCs and the people pulling the flowers together. Everybody pitches in. This is very much a community volunteer effort. It isn't like a fancy pageant that it's fancy, but not like what you'd see on TV. This isn't money-based. This is the community-based.
That is correct. It is community-based.
Well, thank you to all your volunteers for your work once again. And when we talk about the event, too, before we get right to the event and how to get signed up, it is more than just the day of the pageant. I know sometimes if maybe if you are watching TV or whatever, you think, oh, it's that, hour or two of the pageant. But this is really kind of an experience that unfolds over several days, and it's a lot of experiences for these girls.
It is, and not only the experiences before the pageant, but after the pageant also are a lot of experiences. So it just doesn't end with the crowning of three queens.
And a lot of there's things that are good for the soul, good for the confidence, but there's also things that are just fun. That's what the girls have said anyway. It's kind of like sort of a summer camp experience, but it kind of goes on and on.
It is, yeah. They come every year. We have new faces. We have some returning faces that come back, and every year they enjoy it.
Well, let's talk about that too, because your daughter did this several years ago, and I think if I remember your story, it wasn't like she was a pageant girl from way back, so it was kind of a surprise to you, and then you got involved, but you see the value as a mom for a strong daughter.
I do. I think she saw it probably on Channel 4. She was flipping through channels when she was much younger, and or it was in the newspaper. I can't remember. And she said, "I would like to do this." And I said, "Really?" And she said, "Yes, I would like to do this." And I said, "All right, let's find out about it." So we contacted, who did we contact? I think it was Pam Adams back then, Kylie's mom back then, and got some information. And we've been in it ever since in one way or another, either volunteering or my daughter has been in the pageant several times. Michelle's daughter also in the pageant as well.
When we talk about it, so then mom to mom, you look at it as the positive, and all the positive girls can take away from it.
Oh, absolutely. the strengths that they get from, for example, interviewing. You think, all right, they're interviewing, they're 6, 7 years old, what can they get out of an interview? But it's the poise and the understanding and the confidence to speak with an adult. And then when fast forwarded a couple years, when you're in the workforce and you're going to have an interview for a job, they're all life skills that can help you out.
It's been a very interesting opportunity for a lot of girls for a lot of years. Now let's talk about this year coming up. The actual event is Saturday, the 25th of June, 1 o'clock at the Park District Sullivan Center. The Sullivan Center will be under construction, so keep that in mind, folks. It might look a little different when you come in, but you're going to make it work.
I understand it will look a little bit different, but we will make it work, yes.
But that's that date. But you've got some dates for girls and families who might be looking to get involved. What are some of the other dates people should keep in mind?
Well, the applications will be online on the Village website starting in March. So please look on the Village website for those. They will also be upstairs in Village Hall. There's a table right outside the front entrance. And there's a kiosk in Hawthorne Mall also that we put applications out. So look for those, fill them out, and there is a sheet, one of the cover sheets that explains the different dates. The first day would be Friday, May 6th is when the applications are due back into Village Hall at 5 p.m., no later. Tuesday, May 17th from 4:30 to 6:30 at the Sullivan Center is the first contestant meeting. And that's an informational meeting for everybody to go.
Parents too.
Parents too, right? The end of May, beginning of June, we have contestant pictures at JCPenney in the mall. And Tuesday, June 21st from 4:30 to 7:30 is a practice at the Sullivan Center.
Those are important dates people have to keep in mind so that if they're thinking about applying, they need to look at their calendar and make sure they've got those dates.
And we've kind of done it so that it is after school. For those who are working, it would be perhaps after their day shift job, they'd be able to participate.
And then there's things you have to be able, once you're crowned, that you can do, because the girls go on to the Lake County Pageant.
We do. We go to the Lake County, Illinois State Pageant, and this year the pageant is at the Gorton Community Center in Lake Forest, and it's held April 17th. So our Vernon Hills Queens that were crowned last June will be going this April for the Lake County crown.
Okay, so it's like 1 year later they come back around.
Almost a year later. It used to be November, and we were in a different pageant system. We were finding, though, that because other communities were going to, they had their pageants until like September, it was just too soon of a crunch time for it. So April seemed to be a good month.
Sounds good. So those are some dates for everybody. Can we also go through some of the ages, because there's 3 age groups and it's specific to your date of birth. It's just how it is.
That's exactly right. It's just how it is. It's how everyone was born. The first age group, the Little Miss age group, is 6 to 9, and you cannot turn 10 prior to January 1st of 17. So this coming January. Junior Miss age group is 10 to 15 and can't turn 16 prior to January 1st, and the Miss age group is 16 to 22 and can't be 23 before that January date.
And that isn't something you got, it goes in with all the other pageant system.
Right. This is what the Lake County pageant follows, so we have to obviously follow the same.
And those things are all on that application. They're all on your website. And can we go down one more time what the girls would be doing? Because I know before we turned on the camera, you said the little girls, their interviews are really short and sweet, and then they get a little bit longer as it goes. Can you kind of outline that a little bit?
Well, the interview process, there are 3 elements that the girls are judged on. One is interview, and one is stage presence, pop question, and speech. So each group has to also come up with a speech, something like with the little, something that is important to them. And going up to the Miss, it's something that is important to them, but more of a platform type of an issue that they would be giving a speech on.
And when we talk about the interviews, how is that different from a little, like maybe a young girl going in as opposed to somebody who's already had a little college under their belt?
Well, they're still going to be sitting there speaking, in front of several people that will be asking them questions off of the application. They may also ask them things off of the application. But for the littles, they're asked things like, their favorite movie, let's say. Someone had asked them about that. And they may ask them, why is that your favorite movie? And then they would have to, kind of explain why that is their favorite movie.
So as long as they've actually worked on that application with their parent, they know the content. The trick would be, though, if somebody did it for them and they had no idea what was put on the
Yes,
application.
it's no different than if, your child has a second grade project and, you've done a great job as a parent, you would get the A, but the child has absolutely no idea what you just did.
Well, so, and as a mom and as an educator, as somebody in the schools, what I've always enjoyed is the fact that you've come back year after year. Bless you for doing it. And so as your team and all these other volunteers, so I know there's some benefit there. I know if somebody wants to hear more, if they'd like to talk to you about it, just as you did when you were trying to learn more for your daughter, a few years ago, are you available?
Oh, absolutely. I'm always available for a phone call, an email, or a text anytime anybody has any questions whatsoever. And our queens also, and their parents are great resources as well. So I'm sure many people in the community know who our queens are, and they are available for questions. And we have been so fortunate and so blessed with our queens, and with the support of the Village of Vernon Hills, with the support of the Park District from Vernon Hills, our Public Works Department. I mean, it's just wonderful.
Well, we appreciate what you and all your volunteers do. If you want to find out more, go online. Make sure you get that application. Get it ahead of time so that you're not like at the 11th hour trying to get it done. It's a little lengthy. You have to put some thought into it, but that's one of the steps of the whole process. If you want to know more, check in, look on the website, ask around, but we do wish you all the best for another great pageant. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lynn. Thank you.
Well, we are at the Vernon Hills Park District Sullivan Center, located on Aspen Drive. We're with Vernon Hills Park District's Executive Director, Jeff Fougeroux. And it is good to be in the Sullivan Center because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on here. And we're going to get to that in a minute. But before we start on that, let's remind people about the scope of the Vernon Hills Park District, because you are not some small organization. You cover a lot of ground, so to speak.
Yeah, we like to say we're small but mighty. In the scheme of things, just a district size that is kind of medium scope within our industry, but then when you look at the magnitude during the day of all the people coming into this community, we try to capture that service industry as well. So we're a district. We have 26 playgrounds and parks. We have close to 500 acres of open space for people, 10 miles of walking and biking trails. 3 community centers, one of which is a fitness center, and then recently we opened up a state-of-the-art park maintenance facility to accommodate just all the services we do within our parks.
Yeah, you're big, busy park district and award-winning park district. I mean, you've been recognized in your industry for just all that you get done here.
That's correct. I mean, there's quite a few awards over the years. One we're most proud of, in fact, we're going to be having to apply for this again, is a certificate of being an accredited park district. About 10% of the park districts across the state. It's a pretty extensive process to go through, so we'll be pursuing that certification again in 2017, so we're looking forward to that.
Well-run organization. Well, and one of the things, you're always improving and doing things, and one of the places you're going to make improvements is here at the Sullivan Center. We're standing in the room where you always have your, your dances and things like that. But let's explain to people why we are standing here as they're watching it in April. What's going to happen over here?
Sure. So we're right in the center of our community room. We have a lot of the larger gatherings that'll occur here. This particular location is going to serve as our temporary entrance when we're under construction. So there's an east entrance that our customers and just staff will come in, and then they'll maneuver through kind of a makeshift construction walkway to our front desk. So the existing front entrance that people see as they're coming down the drive into the facility will be a future boardroom. So that's all going to be closed off. So in terms of the depth of the project, the main components that we're looking at is we're adding a new gymnasium. That'll mirror the size of what exists. It's about roughly 8,000 square feet. We're also going to be putting in 4 new preschool classrooms, and those will go directly off the southern end of the building. They'll have its own separate entrance, secured entrance now, which we do not have. So the new entrance to the facility will be on the east side of the building. It'll be a large-scale, open, inviting lobby, control desk, right, so as you greet people. Whereas now, that's part of the problem, is a lot of people come in through our east entrance, which is not the main entrance. Got to walk a couple hundred feet before they're greeted by one of our customer service staff. So just logistics that we're looking.
And walking by the preschool, which I know you'd like to secure that area.
Absolutely. I mean, the rooms are locked during the day, so we make every certainty that our kids are safe and protected. And the last significant component is moving our administrative staff out of the Lashin Center and moving them over into Sullivan Center. So we'll be probably, early spring of 2017 by the time we get all of our admin staff out of the Lashin Center. And from there, the rest of the project and phases, the preschool wing is most important to get that under construction. That'll start in April of 16, and they look to be completed by about October of 16 so that we can do that transition. Same time the gymnasium will be constructed, so the same kind of time frame when we expect the gym to be completed.
Okay, so we're going to start seeing things happen over here fairly quickly, and then once that construction, these things start, does that mean there's programs that are going to discontinue, or are you going to stay in operation all the way straight through?
Everything's going to stay straight through. We've had some relationship that we've secured with the school district to facilitate some of our summer camp programs because of, again, the uncertainty of construction within the building. We're going to be open during construction. We obviously, safety is our number one concern, so we want to make sure that we have children in programs or camps. We want to make sure that they're in a safe environment. But for the most part, it's business as usual for us, and we're just going to have some inconveniences along the way that we're just going to have to deal with.
And you're planning for them, and so as we talk about this, one of the things, I know you've gone through quite a process. There's been some public meetings, you've kind of routed plans to get information from people of the district, and you've gathered a lot of feedback, but now that you guys have kind of set upon this plan, and we're going to see some construction starting. Can you back up a little and explain to us the funding part of it? Just because as a tax-paying body, we always like to know where that comes from and what that means for us.
Sure. So the planning part of it is always vital for us as a district. We started the planning almost a year ago. We held 4 or 5 public meetings to invite input from our citizens on this particular project. We've had it, through our website. We've had all kinds of e-blasts to gather information, and we did get some good information from people that helped. In terms of the cost of it, we're looking somewhere around a construction cost of about $4 million. It'll be funded through a bond issue. The board is looking to approve that in our February board meeting, and so the impact on citizens is there's no tax increase. So this is a bond issue that will accelerate over a 15 to 20 year period, so your tax rate will stay the same, and we make certain of that. We use a lot of the funds too. We have some healthy reserves, so we use some of that as well to kind of offset the expense.
Okay, so we're not going to see something else. We like it. it's that age-old thing. We all want all our services. We want our cake and we want to eat it too. We don't want to pay for it. So it's nice to hear you've got a way to fund through that. So, and I know that as you've worked on this, you've not only worked hard at getting the message out in the community, but you've worked with partnerships. You know, I know you work closely with places like Cook Library and Hawthorne Schools right across the street and all these places. So is that going to continue? Is Hawthorne got a spot over here, or is that up for grabs, or how is that going to happen?
So, great question. The emphasis of this project was obviously one of communication between all the public entities that kind of surround this 4-acre parcel here, just to the north of Sullivan Center, that kind of sits in between the library and the Sullivan Community Center. So it was very apparent to us through our conversations with the village, who owns some of the property as well as we do, that we wanted to work together. The library is talking about putting an addition on. We wanted to make certain that our plans were synonymous with them and we weren't tripping over one another. The school district has expressed a genuine interest in doing some future facility improvements out here on our property and a little bit of the village property. So they're included in the conversations, as well as the village. So you've got these 4, public entities all communicating with one another on just the logistics of how we want to map this out as more of a campus feel, so that it's not just this large just asphalt parking lot that we all put in here. So there's been a lot of conversations over the last 12 to 18 months with all the public bodies in terms of that. Our efforts right now is to put a gymnasium on. So we don't have any issues in terms of needing additional parking or additional thoroughfare to get access to our facility. But once the library and the school district decide on their plans, then there's a good chance that they're going to need to access through our drive, through our lot. They might need access to our parking that we have. So those are basically things that we got to work on with their architects, our architects, and our planning teams.
Okay, so that partnership continues. It's just how it's going to be, and that's what we like to see here in town. So as we see, as people watch this in March, by April, are we going to start seeing things move around, or is it going to be that soon?
Yeah, by April, the plan is that we'll be doing some excavation on the south end of the building and the north end of the building. So the game plan from a time frame is mid-April that we're going to commence with that. So you'll see some things prior to that, with just staging, security fencing, kind of getting everything in place.
And as we talk about all these things too, you said to get some of those administrative offices over here. We've already got some people are in offices here, and you've got some people back at the Lashen Center, hoping to get them over by not this spring, but the coming spring. What about the Lashen Center? Is that a Park District building? Whose building is that? And what happens there?
Yeah, so we're a tenant. The village owns the property of Lashen, and we've been in there since 2002, so about 14 years. It served us very well. It's an aged facility. We've done some studies on it in terms of future improvements that we, the Park District, are responsible for any and all expenses in the building. So we just found through the merits of just our assessment that there's some pretty significant improvements that have to be made, mechanically, electrical, plumbing, ADA issues, that it just didn't warrant for us to invest in those when we didn't own the property.
Well, and as you said, that property has been kind of repurposed a couple of times. I mean, that's the old golf course, clubhouse site. So it's had quite a life. So understandable. Well, and I know if you want more information on this, your website has information. I think there'll be pictures and things coming up, and we can just keep watching to see what's happening. So just be patient when you're in here and watch for the signs, and we'll probably come back and take another look. Now, another project you've got going that when it finally gets nice out, I think people are going to think about it more, and that's your in Deer Path Park, the Kids Castle. You had a big volunteer demolition day in the fall. When are the pieces going to start coming back in there?
So that project's scheduled to commence in early to mid-May, and that's more likely just some excavation, kind of getting the site prepped. We have some poured-in-place surface, which is kind of a soft deck surface. It's a fully accessible surface. Once that gets in, then we'll kind of rally the troops of all the families, the Vernon Hills families, and we have over 150 families that have expressed interest in helping. A big part of that, Amy Lamberti, who's been our community activist and kind of liaison on that, has coordinated all that effort. So then they'll help with the installation and construction of the Kids Castle Playground. Probably about a 4-week process, so somewhere, weather permitting and getting all the contractors in place, you know, mid-June is a pretty good estimate that we can get that under wraps.
Okay. And make sure everybody's helping you. If somebody wants to get involved, I mean, that's talk to Amy or call over here to get Amy's contact info.
Yeah, and there's information on our website as well regarding that if they're still interested in helping out.
Yeah, so that'll be a wonderful amenity. I know people, you know, people love the old one, people will love the new one. So, and then you always like to invite people to come to your board meetings. You have board meetings, is it once a month over at the Lashin Center at this point, and that's open to the public to come over, and you've got your minutes online, and you like to share the information.
Yeah, so the fourth Thursday of every month, open public meetings at the Lashin Center, 6:30 p.m. Our agendas are always posted several days in advance, so if people are interested in just seeing what's the topic or what's to take place from a business perspective, you can go to our website and that information is available for you.
Thank you. And you guys are always here. If people have questions, I know you're always accessible by email or give a call over here or try to, I know you're out at a lot of meetings, but you're always checking your email, so you're here for everybody.
We are. We're one-stop shop. We try hard. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you. It's going to be an exciting project to watch come to fruition. We'll all be safe and careful when we're over here, so you can find those new entrances, and thanks for taking the time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, we are back at the Vernon Hills Park District Sullivan Center, and this time we're going to talk about activities, summer activities, which we can't wait for summer activities. So we're with Gail Herman and Katrina Weiland, and they are involved with a lot of the summer camp things that are going on. And even though our friends are watching this in March, and they've just gotten their catalogs, so they know what to look for, you're saying it's time to start signing up for summer.
It is time to start signing up for summer. We are planning field trips. We're hiring staff. We're getting ready. So you need to sign up.
And I know, and I understand too, that programs over here at the Park District are going like gangbusters. So it's always a good idea, if you can, to get signed up just so you get your spot.
That's right. Things are filling up quickly here, faster than they ever have before. So as soon as registration opens in March, you'll wanna get on that.
Yeah, and let's talk about registration, because as a park district, you serve the residents first. That's just kind of how the rule of the park district is. So residents who live within the village of Vernon Hills, they get first dibs. That starts March 1. And then you open it up to anybody who's interested March 8th. Now, tell me about District 73, though. Hawthorne gets a price break, but if you don't live in Vernon Hills, if you're like one of our, Mundelein or one of the other communities, you get the price break, but you got to wait for non-residents.
That's right. You do get the resident rate, but you do have to wait till the non-resident registration date.
Okay. So that's March 1st is resident, March 8th is non-resident, and just get going on that. So now let's talk about the camps. How young do you go? How old do you go?
Well, I'm in charge of the younger group, and I start with age 3 by September 1st.
So those are some little guys.
They are very little. They have to be potty trained, but they are very small.
Okay. And then how old can you go then? Is it like, are there opportunities for even middle schoolers? Or?
We go till 7th grade.
Okay.
So if you're finishing up 7th grade, you can participate.
Okay, so if you're just finishing 7th grade, like in May, then you can go on. And I understand those kids do, they're obviously going to be different activities for a 3-year-old than there are for the 7th graders. But are there still some service project activities?
Yes, absolutely. We have a variety of camps. We have your regular sports camps, and we go on lots of field trips. So we also have a summer of service camp where these students twice a week will go out into the community and do various service projects, from Bernie's Book Bank we've worked with in the past, and doing a book drive, to a car wash here in our own parking lot, raising money for animal shelters, and also going to other park districts and the forest preserves and helping with planting trees and pulling weeds and all that sort of fun stuff. So they do a variety of things. And they also go on field trips as well. And they also go to our pool here.
Okay, well, that is a nice amenity because you've got the Aquatic Center right here, the lazy river and the whole thing. So the camps do make a trip over there.
Yeah, once, twice a week, all the camps come.
So is that something too that I know you've said before, just the opportunity to be in the pool and get some of those that water familiarity, that's a bonus because you can kind of get that learning in right during the summer.
Right, I run two of the camps, Little Giant Sport Camp and Junior Crew, that also include swimming lessons. So that's a bonus because the parents can have that taken care of during their child's camp day.
Oh, so you don't have to like wait and come home after work and then rush to swimming lessons because you've taken care of it for them.
Right, exactly.
That's nice. Now, I also heard some of the camps, if you look in your brochure, you'll see a bus, and it means that there is some bus service. Can you explain a little bit about that?
If you live in Vernon Hills limits, some of our camps have buses, and they come to a neighborhood stop, and they bus the children to their camps, which is a great thing.
That is, especially if you've got a working parent that you can't be here and, for the whole thing. And when we talked about all ages, all interests, schedules too, because I know sometimes I think about the camp, it's, from the morning till night, but there's also some shorter camps, shorter runs in duration and shorter days. Is that correct?
Yes, we provide a half-day camp. It's called Kids Zone, and this camp actually happens at Town Line. And that camp is from noon to 3. If you just, want your kids out of the house for a little bit, or
Yeah, around other kids too.
around other kids, socializing. We offer that until 3 p.m.
Okay, so there's a lot of different things you can put together to make your summer schedule work. And before we end on this, though, we do have to remind people that, yes, the Sullivan Center will be under some construction, but you've got all that figured out. And just to be looking for something that looks a little different over here, but the camps will go on and everything will go on and everything's going to be taken care of.
Yes, we've been working on that. We've been having meetings and kind of like looking at how we can best accomplish everything, and rest assured everything will happen and it'll happen well.
Okay. Well, so that's summertime camps. A lot of other activities and enrichment going on over here, but the most important thing is check your brochure. But if somebody does want to talk a little bit, if you got, if mom or dad or somebody wants to just find out a little bit more, you guys are available to talk about what a camp day is like, right?
Absolutely. You can call the front desk here, and you can reach Gail or myself, or you can send us an email at any time.
That's a good thing. You want to be comfortable so you understand what you're signing up for. So you guys are here to help people sign up for that. So that's summer camp, but let's also look to the fall because you are also involved, Miss Gail, with the preschool, and I know you've got a preschool open house coming up, and you are also registering everybody for fall.
We have been registering for our new preschool year since December. We have an open house coming up on March 19th from 10:30 till noon. And we're getting registered. You're getting ready for the new year in new classrooms.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. That's going to be great. So everybody's just going to have to wait and see. We can't see, we can see drawings of that, but at this point, that as we get into the fall, you're going to have bright, new, shiny spaces and secure entrance doors that are a little different. Just, I should say, dedicated entrance doors because this is secure here, but it'll be a lot easier for parents.
Absolutely, we're very excited about the whole thing. We get to be a part of every decision making. We get to buy new equipment. We just get to do this from the ground up, and it's very exciting for all of us.
And you guys have a wonderful program over here, and you've had it going for a long time, so you know what you need and you know what you're going to set up. So that's going to be great. So if anybody wants any more information on this, contact these two lovely ladies. Call over here to the Park District. Look at your brochure. Ask questions, but get signed up just so you get your spot. So thanks for taking the time, and here's to a great summer.
Thank you so much.
Well, when we think about summer, we think about the outdoor pool, the Family Aquatic Center. So we're with Jay Bowman. He's the supervisor of that facility. I know you guys have pools now available all year round because you've got Lakeview. But we get so excited when the outdoor pool opens. When's that going to happen?
As usual, we're going to be open from Memorial Day weekend until Labor Day weekend this year.
And as we say that, remember to check the weather hotline because weather's the thing, and I can't even imagine it being warm enough to open at this point when we're taping today, but that's the plan. So it's still going to have Bobo's over there to have concessions. Do you have the all-day experience?
Yes, we do.
And I know that you do a lot of swimming lessons now over at Lakeview, because that's just nice to have the indoor. Are you going to still have the ability for parents to sign up for swimming lessons here at the outdoor facility? And when does that happen? You close it in the evening, or how does that work?
We have our morning swim lesson program at the Family Aquatic Center, but then all the evenings and weekends are still going to be at Lakeview, as they are year-round.
Okay, so you've got that opportunity. How about people who like to swim laps? I know we've got some of our people in the community, they don't want to be jumped around on by the kids, but when is lap time?
We do have our lap swim in the mornings, 8 to 9 o'clock, I want to say, and then we always have a morning lap swim on Saturday and Sunday as well. And then if you have a Lakeview Fitness membership, they always have a lap lane available for our lap swimmers.
Okay, so that's a good way to cover that, just because you can swim the laps over there all the time, so it isn't just like at the fitness one, or the aquatic center.
We usually leave a lap lane open during public swim for people who can't make it in the morning.
Well, now, we've been talking a little bit as we've gone through these segments. Everybody's saying, the use of the Park District has been growing. People are really embracing it. We've got, maybe it's just the age of the families around, but you guys are busy. Is that the sort of thing that, I know pool passes are going to start going on sale. Do you get to the point where it's good to get your pool pass early for any reason?
It's always good to get your pool pass early, just because you get a discount before May. So our deadline is April 30th for the discount on the pool passes. So it's always good to get that in, just to save a little money.
Yeah, and you've got family plans, and you still have like the nanny pass?
We don't offer the nanny pass any longer, simply because we've gone to a individual rate on the pool passes, so it's per person. So we don't really need the nanny. You just buy a regular old pass for the nanny.
Yeah, and we don't need to know she's a nanny. We just need, whether it's grandma, nanny, whoever it's going to be. So, and are you going to have parties? I know that's like one of the big things as people start planning their corporate outings and their birthday parties. Is that something we can get signed up for again?
Yeah, you can rent our facility on the weekends. On Friday and Saturday evenings, we offer private parties after our regular hours. And then our birthday party program is always going on throughout the summer. And Lakeview Fitness Center, again, also has a birthday party program going on. So pretty much any time during the year, you can have a birthday party.
You can have a swimming party anytime. And one of the things I wanted to check in with you is, I know you've had your swim clubs have been really doing well. You've got a lot of kids involved in that. So is that something somebody can get signed up for if they want to swim a little bit more than lesson, more than splashing around? They really want to get swimming.
Yeah, we always have it listed on our brochure for those kids who are interested in taking their swimming to the next level and want to be part of a team atmosphere. We do have the Turtles. The person to talk to about that would be Matt DeWitt. He's over at Lakeview. He's our aquatics program guy. So he's always good to talk to you, and he'll be happy to get you started.
Yeah. That's one of those things, too. You don't have to be the greatest swimmer when you start, but by the time you're done, you're doing pretty well. So.
Right. We have our bronze team that gets kids introduced to swim training, and then they can move up from there as they please.
Well, so that's what's going on at the Family Aquatic Center. And, of course, any day you can just pop on over there. You don't have to have a pass. Just come on over, go to the front desk. They'll help you. Do you have to be a resident to take advantage of the Family Aquatic Center?
No, not at all. We have our non-residents are welcome to come to the pool anytime.
That's what's going on at the Family Aquatic Center. We cannot wait till you put the water in, because this has been a long winter already. So if you've got questions, ask Jay. Call over to the Park District. Look in your brochure. But let's get out there and have some fun. It'll be so nice when you get the water in and we can actually get in there and splash around. Hello. Yeah. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk a little bit about special events, and that there's a lot of them. We're here with Marty Walsh, who is the special event supervisor. We also know him as Mr. Ribfest, but I understand you could be Mr. Flick and Float this year. You got a new event coming in.
It all depends on the time of year, my moniker. So, no, we are thrilled to announce we've got over 25 events that we host here at the Park District, adding new events every year. So be sure to check your spring-summer guide for a brand new event coming this summer. It's going to be what's called a Flick and Float, and we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, you can go online and register. You can view all of our programs and events in our spring-summer catalog. So.
Okay. Which everybody should have it at home right now, or you can page through it online, virtually.
Yeah, you can page through it online, or you can stop by any one of our rec centers and pick up a copy as well.
So let's talk about some of the stuff coming up. I know as we're sitting here watching this in March, a big event is coming up on March 19th, a Hoppin' Holiday Hunt. Now, that tends to get full, so by the time people are watching, but can you tell people a little bit about it, so even if they get in on it this year, they can plan for next year?
Sure. It's our annual Easter-themed event. We have a magic show. We have a Easter egg hunt. We have a breakfast that we host in partnership with the local Lions Club. They're huge volunteers and big supporters of Park District events. We're going to have a preschool open house as well, and every child will also get a goodie bag. So be sure to buy your tickets soon because they will sell out. We've had huge success with our events. Events that have historically never sold out over the years have been selling out in record time. So be sure to buy your tickets ASAP.
Well, everything's so fun. There's so many fun and really inexpensive activities that the whole family can enjoy. Another big event coming up that I know a lot of people want to get signed up for is Loop the Lakes. That's been going on for forever, it seems like.
Yeah, I believe we're going into our 15th year now, I believe. It's a fundraiser that benefits the Family Scholarship Fund. We host it out at one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most picturesque parks in Lake County, Century Park. We actually are unique in the fact that we keep the entire race inside the park. We don't use any of the arterial roads like a lot of races do. We keep everything on the path within Century Park. So not only is it a great workout, but it's got some great scenery as well. You can register online through our website or through active.com is also a way to register for that. That's going to be on Saturday, April 23rd at 9 a.m.
And that does attract runners of all abilities, because a lot of times it's somebody's first run, or they just like it because it's such a beautiful run.
Sure, we welcome all runners of all abilities, even our youngest runners. We even have strollers that we allow, and for our four-legged friends, you're also allowed to bring your dog if you want to run with your dog. So we always get a few runners that want to go for a run with their canine
I
friends.
think we'll be excited when it's nice like that. We're April 23rd. We hope that's a nice day. Now you've had a lot of other things going on. You know, flying kites and kids triathlons. And can you go through some of those other?
Sure. On the same day of the Loop the Lakes 5K, we're also going to be offering our annual Family Kite Fly, which is actually a fundraiser that helps to benefit the after-school programs throughout Illinois. You may have seen some of the Park District license plates that you can buy through the Secretary of State's office. A lot of the money that we raise through that event helps to proceed the funding of these after-school programs. So we'll have information at the event about how to purchase your own license plate. There's also information here at the Sullivan Center about how to apply for a Park District vanity plate. So that's immediately following the 5K on the 23rd of April.
Do you have to register for that?
Nope, that is a free event. We will have kites for sale on site, or you can bring your own. It's just a drop-in event. So feel free. We're going to be up on the island at Century Park. So we try to steer clear of most of the trees, especially on those windy days. So yeah, it's a great family event. Again, it's been going on for 9 or 10 years now, and it's been growing every year. A lot of new families to the area love to come out and visit the park that day.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. Those free things are just about as good as anything you can get. Are we still having a Mighty Kids Triathlon? I know you had some Iron Men and little girls. And
Yes, the Iron Kids. Yes, this will be our second year hosting the Mighty Kids Triathlon. Last year it was based over at the Lakeview Fitness Center. We're still ironing out all the details. By the time this airs, though, you should have all the final information on the specific location. But we filled up last year. We did not expect it to fill as quickly as it did. Again, you know, if you're ever in doubt about an event here at the Park District, register early. But we utilize the Lakeview pool for the swimming component, and then we utilize the Deer Path Park pathways for the running and the biking part of it. So it's a great event for those younger fitness buffs as well. So
we'll watch for details on that as it comes. Is there going to be a fishing derby this year?
Fishing derby will be returning in June. I believe the second Saturday in June. We'll be partnering again with the Libertyville Fishing Club. Some great guys that come out and not only help the kids with the fishing, but also speak to the safety components as well as some of the environmental considerations when it comes to fishing. Right before we do the event, they do a presentation about fish identification, safety, and things like that. And then we spend a couple hours just out on the shores of Big and Little Bear Lakes, trying to catch the big one. And we do. We catch some big ones.
Well, and so if you've never fished, if that's just not something in your family's background, this is an awesome time because those gentlemen and ladies come from the fishing club, and somebody will help you figure out how to do this.
Yes, even if you don't have a pole, we have poles for you to borrow free of charge. We have bait, so all you need to do is pre-register, and we'll take care of the rest.
Okay, that's exciting. Summers in the park. There's a lot of things that go other. Yeah, are you going to have any the big screen out in any of the parks?
We are. We've got the movies in the park returning the final Friday of each month in June, July, and August. Of course, weather permitting. But we are extremely thrilled about a brand new event that we're going to be moving the movie screen over to the Family Aquatic Center in July for the Flick and Float, which is a brand new event. We're going to close the Aquatic Center a little bit early on a Saturday night, and we'll be showing, I believe it's going to be SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie, right on the deck of the pool. So you can literally grab an inflatable from the Aquatic Center, hang out. Bobo's will be open late to sell some movie concessions, and hang out and watch a movie in style.
It's a good movie for that too, isn't it? So yeah, so that
the
is
aquatic theme,
Well, you've probably got 1,000 more things that are going to come up over the course of the summer and the fall. And again, you'll look in your catalog, or the website always gives you updates, or come on over here and ask.
Exactly. You can always check our website. We're very active on social media, so check out our Facebook page and Twitter. We're always making updates there. So yeah, we've got a lot of special events, and of course, our anchor event of the summer, towards the end of summer, is Rib Fest.
Well, we're going to do it again.
Yeah, so
then you become Mr. Rib.
Exactly. I'm sure we'll be talking again this summer, but mark your calendars for August 19th and 20th over at Little Bear Lake and Century Park.
Okay, sounds good. Well, that's a lot of stuff to remember. That's a lot of great activities. Thank you and to your staff for bringing all that together, because it's no small feat. And if people want to know more, remember, go online or ask your neighbors, because a lot of times people have experienced these things before, but for the most part, just get involved. It's a great way to get involved with your neighbors in the community.
Sure is. Yeah, or just stop in and see me at the Sullivan Center. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, and we look forward to a great summer. We just look forward to summer, but thanks a lot, Marty.
Thank you, Lennon, and we'll see you guys in the parks.
Well, that wraps up this edition of the Vernon Hills Update. If you have comments or suggestions, please contact Mike Stordo at 847-918-3560 or email mikes@thehills.org. Thank you for tuning into the Vernon Hills Update.